Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel and welcome back to the Ultimate Decades Challenge recap. Yeah, we're doing a little bit something different. I've decided to do a recap for the 1530s and I'm excited. Let's get into it. So I did already record this part, but my mic was messed up. So bear with me. Obviously we're starting off with our main household, the red weaves. And I've decided to go with a color system because it just, in my mind, keeps everything organized. I know who is who when I see them walking down the street because obviously they're wearing their colors. Our main household is, we're going Roy G. Biv here, red. I've called them the weavers or the weaves because they are artisans and they just use cross-stitching to make money. They make intricate laces and threads. They're excellent connoisseurs of wine production because in my episodes I had fully stocked wine racks, I had fully stocked fine aged wine racks before my game corrupted and I lost it all, but they made wine as well. Leonardo is growing a beautiful family, as you can see, and the death of Devereaux has had lasting effects on Rosemary. So if you don't know who my Sims are, let's do a little intro. This is Leo, our main sim of the challenge, our main heir. Everything is about him. And this is his wife, Sienna, and Leonardo's mother, Grandma Rosemary. And obviously someone is missing. Two someones. One has 4 legs and one is why Rosemary looks so grim. And this is Leonardo and Sienna's children, our eldest Shorai and our next in line, Lathander, Nathaniel, and their newest member, baby Lydia. I clearly put everyone in an order that makes it look like there are some gaps. So this is coming out before episode 16 because as you know, I go by threes. So the next couple years are from 1529 to 1531. So this will be about timeline wise right in the middle. So yeah, that's kind of where my timeline is, and I just wanted to drop a short video so people who are just joining can kind of catch up. Next, we have our second main household, just in case the first one fails. This is the Crimson Weaves household. Crimson is just another color red. Don't get too tied up in it. We have Peyton, Leonardo's younger brother, and they're a huntsman. And I call them the second main household because the main household will be going to England in the 1620s while Peyton's lineage will stay back. Just so I have some, like, you know, I'm from England and I still have family there. You know, I want to give it some type of thickness to the story, you know? Everything should have a little bit of depth so it feels real, right? So, the second Weaves hold, who will remain in England when the migration to America begins. A new foal has been introduced to the home, Brown Eye, and the children are causing havoc in the home. This is just the beginning for the Crimson Weaves, hopefully. So we have Peyton, his wife Demetria, who, as you can see, is wearing a blue necklace. She was a part of the blue Bravebird household. She's a sibling from there. Their children, eldest May, yes, Cress, and their youngest, Everin. And their new foal, Brown Eyes. So obviously just a quick, you know, reiteration. These guys are new parents, so the children are running their lives into the ground, literally. And I'm just hoping that Peyton can survive the next couple of years because, man, I really want 2 red households so that, you know, we have some backup on if our first household dies out, Peyton got us. Next, we have the orange Kialohas going in order, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, right? We have our middle class merchants here. They're sellers of books and maps. Their twins are studying cartography, just to keep with the map theme. Desdemona is our, not the heir, but she's the lady of the house. She is Leonardo's older sister, Desdemona, and Destiny here is an oddball. And we also have, obviously, Queen Cupcake, their cat. They adopted that cat without my permission, but I kept her because I love cats. We have Otto Kialoha, Desdemona's husband, We have their twins, Oaks and Odette, and Destiny, the oddball. She's an oddball because she doesn't fit in with the rest of the house. Why? As you can see, there's a clean split here. Desdemona is a villainous Valentine, and she slept with Crispin. And this is the product of that love exchange. So, Otto, her husband, does not know that this is not his daughter, but he may find out in one way or another. And I wanted the twins just to be kind of like, not prodigies, but they're very smart. They're studying the stars, map making, and things like that. Desi spends a lot of Otto's money on clothing. As you can see, she's the nicest one dressed here. And Destiny is also wearing a blue necklace, just to signify that she's not 100% in this house. Next, we have our royals here. I say royals quotations because, well, let me get into it. Our upper class vassals to the king, the yellow grand fishers. Sir Broderick is the rightful king of Windenburg. The death of Marquis Brian has caused a rift in the family. Sir Howell dwells in his twin brother's shadow, and Lady Blair is a devilish little girl. So, we have Duke Ryder here, Princess Harmony, and her children, Broderick, Howell, and Blair. And clearly, someone's missing. So, Sir Broderick is the rightful king of Windenburg. Here's Broderick. The story goes that I made up. Ryder is of royal descent, but the king who sits on the throne now, we're never really introduced to the royalty of Windenburg. They're just placeholders. The king of Windenburg knows Ryder is, of royal descent, but he just gives Ryder land and some money to keep him kind of like hush hush, don't tell anybody, that you're supposed to be in my place. But Princess Harmony, on the other hand, knows that her son is next in line and wants him to be on the throne. Brian, who's dead, knew as well, and he felt way too much pressure from hearing Harmony saying work harder, work harder, work harder, and his father, Duke Ryder, saying you have to influence your wife to just hold her tongue, da 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 da. And it got the best of him, and he, jumped out a window maybe. And he's no longer here. Broderick is the rightful heir. And maybe when he grows up, he'll make a stand. Who knows? But for right now, Duke Ryder is keeping everybody's mouths glued shut. For the time being. He is going to die sooner or later. And Broderick's twin brother Howell dwells in his older brother's shadow, just because, he is the heir and everybody loves him, teaches him all the things, gives him all the hurrah, and he just doesn't really get that much. And, he feels a little bit left out. And then we have Blair here. She has the evil trait. And I just love when royalty have evil traits. I think being an evil ruler is like the best trope there is. So Lady Blair is a little bit of a prankster, and she makes everybody's life hard. But it's okay, because she may or may not get thrown in jail and face her crimes when she's older. Next, we have the regular Fishers. So the Grand Fishers stemmed from the Fishers, if that makes sense. Hope you're staying with me. We have the upper middle class sailors and fishermen. Fleet Captain Cassian often looked down on for marrying an outsider and failure to produce an heir. Dagal and his family were kicked from their previous home due to untold secrets. And Chilai and Chalita plan for expansion. Lady Celine and Kosum hesitate to engage in finding valuable suitors. So, these are big groups. Okay, so everyone is clearly connected because Dagal and Cassian are both the brothers of Brian, who's dead. They're the elder brothers. Why weren't they chosen as heirs? Great question. Degal never got married, and Cassian never had a son. That's why the people of Windenburg don't really give him much credit for anything. He has a bad rep for marrying somebody who's not of English descent. We have Captain Cassian, his older brother Degal, Degal's wife Chalita, and their son Kosum. Like I said, we have Captain Cassian here. I made him a captain because I didn't want him to be a duke. I didn't want him to be a marquis. I didn't want him to be a lord. I wanted him to be just a little bit below. So he's the fleet captain. So he runs the seas, or runs the ships, the comings and goings of cargo and stuff like that, which is a pretty big task. Like, come on, that's pretty sufficient. And his wife, Chilai, and their daughter, Lady Selene. So these guys are brothers, and these women are sisters. To explain their breakdown, like I said, Captain Cassian is looked down upon because he married Chilai, who is originally from Tomarang, and he never had a son, and this is their only child, Selene. Degal and his family were kicked out of their previous home because when they came back from Tomarang, they didn't have anywhere to stay. They were homeless, and they asked Sylvia, who is a close relative to Leonardo, if they could stay with her, and she said yes. And they were kicked out because Degal knew about the adultery going on with Sylvia and Crispin. And when Sylvia was dying of old age, I'm making this up, but I already thought of the story. When Sylvia was dying of old age, she told her husband on her deathbed, "The baby is not yours." Can you imagine someone telling you a crazy secret and then they die? So the husband confronts Degal. He said, "Yo, did you know about this?" And he was like, I don't want to lie to a grieving man. Yeah, I did know. So he kicks them out. They're homeless yet again. But Degal travels, I think they were in Henford, to Windenburg, and begs his brother at his doorstep, "Please let my family live with you. We have nowhere else to go. We only have the clothes on our backs." And Cassian's like, "I don't know, man. I already got a really bad rep. The people of Windenburg already look down on me and my family." So, as you know, Chilai and Chalita are sisters. So Chilai twists Cassian's arm, and she's like, "Husband, please. This is my sister. We will double our income, and we would be more successful with more hands on deck." No pun intended. And Fleet Captain Cassian, I was like, "All right, for my beautiful wife, I will do this." And he lets his brother and his family into their homes. Oh, and then we have Chilai and Chalita plan for expansion. So the ladies, I don't want to say they're plotting or scheming or anything like that, but they have the right idea to kind of take over the men's business and be the motherboard, if you will. So the men are the brawn and the women are the brain of the operation. And we have Selene and Kosum hesitate to engage in finding suitors. I just said that because if I haven't made any effort to play with them and get them to like others. I would marry them together, but I feel like that's too close in relation. Just a little bit too close. Yeah, no, because they have common. The bloodline's too close. Next, ooh, this is my favorite side household. I love this side household. We have the Green Ishis. They're seamstresses or seamsters, and they're middle class. And the death of Kimber has had a lasting effect on the children. Eldest sister Josephine set out to study the afterlife. Heir Kensington has much to learn, and Jung is trying his best to raise the children all on his own. So, their breakdown is Kimber died from poison, right? Don't know if someone poisoned her, don't know if she poisoned herself by accident, who knows. But the death of that Kimber has made all the kids just a little bit more problematic for Jung. Eldest sister Josephine has set out to study the afterlife. So since I made Kimber a playable ghost, obviously the family can still see her. Like, she hasn't left. Josephine being, I think it's a ghost historian aspiration. She really wants to know why her mom has not moved on. Or why can we still see her? Maybe she has some unfinished business, you know? So Josephine has set off to Ravenwood to a, like, not a wizard school, but like a school that deals with all things death and spooky and ghosts, right? So she's in Ravenwood doing her thing. The heir Kensington has much to learn, so the kids don't get that much attention from dad because he's off hunting, foraging, trying to uphold the family and make a living. So they're just kind of having to teach themselves how to survive a little bit. And Jung is literally trying his best to raise all these kids by himself and have money to put food on the table. I love them to death. Oh, I didn't introduce them. Sorry. So we have obviously Jung, Kimber, the dead wife, their eldest Josephine, Greta and Jetta, the twins, Kit, who's kind of in the middle, and then Kensington and Jamian, the twin boys. A lot of twins. Next. Hello, editor Leah here. This whole next section was completely muted. I didn't realize that my mic got unplugged, and I was just blabbing and blabbing, and none of it was recorded. So we're just gonna redo it for the third time, and I'm gonna just take this clip and insert it into the original video. So sorry about the continuity, but yeah, rookie mistake. Okay, so this lovely group we have here are the Blue Brave Birds. They're another side household, and the main character in this household is, of course, Crispin. He's the heir, and he is the villainous Valentine who has impregnated more than one woman and has more than one love child. One of them being in that household, Clara, and the other one with Desi, with Destiny. They're upper middle class, they're trades and huntsmen, and a little bit of their breakdown is Crispin has to deal with the offspring of his actions. Carlotta is trying her best to take care of her orphanage. Eglantine is raising a weapon of a son, Hunter, and young Clara, who is often forgotten, is left to her own devices. So, from left to right, we have the beautiful Carlotta, Crispin, who's now no longer a villainous Valentine now that he aged up into a young adult. So I switched their aspirations once they age up from teen to young adult. Eglantine, our beautiful murderer, her husband Zachary and Eglantine's child Hunter, and Crispin's love child Clara. And of course their horsey Silva. So I did a little joke and had Crispin has to deal with the offspring of his actions, meaning Clara was kicked out of the home that Degal and his family was staying in because Sylvia gave birth to her, obviously. But when Sylvia died, where was she to go once the father figured out, hey, you're actually not my kid, get out of here? So Crispin, being the good father that he is, takes her in as an apprentice. So he doesn't tell her, hey, I'm actually your real dad. He just says, hey, I see that you're homeless and poor. I'm not homeless and poor. Do you want to be with me in Tartosa? I'll teach you as much as I can, or as much as women were allowed to learn. And you'll have some food and a comfy bed. And she's like, heck yeah, I just got abandoned by my family. So she is with her real dad now in Tartosa. Carlotta is in Mount Kumarabi, aka Japan, taking care of an orphanage with her husband, and she's just doing her thing. Eglantine is raising a weapon of a son, Hunter. So Hunter I do not roll for because he is a storyline character. I have like a little storyline going on in the back of my Let's Play, and he will play a huge role in like the 1580s, or maybe the 1570s, who knows. And the stories like Apex involves him. You'll see, it gets good, it gets better. And then we have young Clara, who is often forgotten, is left to her own devices. So Clara, like I said, she gets ignored a lot just because of her upbringing. And I'm surprised I didn't write anything about Eglantine. Well, Eglantine married Rich. This is her husband. They're huntsmen and tradesmen, so they're upper middle class. And this is the Blue Brave Bird household for now. And yeah, more to come from them. Next. We have our beautiful purple Leons. So, they're middle class and they're common landowners. Evangelina struggles with the loss of her first husband Tsubasa. Milan tries his best to pick up the pieces. Together they are building the home and family of their dreams, and two different fathers. Will the sisters get along in the future? Okay, so I think this is about where my mic picks back up. And yeah, back to the original Leah. So we have Evangelina, obviously. I think she's pregnant. Hopefully it's a boy. Milan, Leon. I love names that like flow together. Their baby together, Eris. They had more children, but you'll see they didn't. And Evangelina's only child with Tsubasa. Evangelina, when Tsubasa died, kinda stopped taking care of the home. Stopped taking care of Esme. Oh, right. Names. So Milan, Evangelina, Esme, and Eris. She didn't stop taking care of Eris, but she wasn't really taking care of herself. So we won't say he just stumbled upon Evangelina. Let's say Rosemary. Let's say Mother Rosemary, Evangelina's mom, paid Milan, hey, I have a beautiful single daughter, and you're a beautiful single man. How much do I have to give you to take care of my daughter? So Milan, he's actually a pretty great guy, and he's handsome. And Rosemary, being the matchmaker that she is, just kind of pushed him over to her, and they got married eventually and had a baby. And Milan isn't who Evangelina loves. She doesn't love him, but she is trying her best to honor and respect the duties that come with being a mother and a wife. So she tolerates him, but he actually does love her. I'm pretty sure there were a lot of one-sided relationships in the 1500s. Together, they are building the home and family of their dreams, so they want at least, I think they're on their 5th try, 4 or 5. They have at least 3 more tries. And 2 different fathers. Will the sisters get along in the future? I think they'll get along. I think they'll be fine. They might have their differences, but they have 2 loving parents, so I think they'll be good. Next. Okay, last but not least, we have the pink and white Fishers and Kibos. So these are the Kibos and these are the Fishers. Fisher is was one of my biggest. The Fishers, as you can see, we have 3 households with the Fisher last name. They all stemmed from the one Fisher family, but as they had more sons and daughters, they kind of broke off. So this is the 3rd iteration of the Fishers. They're upper middle class, business and landowners. And we have Ruth, her 2 sons, Cortland and Bard, and Josie with her husband Gustavo. They've been around a long time. If you watch my Let's Play, they've been around a long time. Bard is the heir of the newly established white household. Ruth often receives strange letters from someone claiming to be a vampire? Alistair? So Ruth has a 3rd son, her eldest, Alistair, who left to be a vampire in Romania, and she hasn't heard from him, or has she? And the pink household is on its last member, you're a troopy Josie. So households do die off. That's why I'm missing a lot of colors. Josie didn't have any sons. She couldn't pass on her lineage, so she's the last member. Cortland continues to explore his options in distant lands. So Cortland is also in Japan, or Mount Kumarebi. He is, doing his own thing, exploring, learning. He will eventually find a suitor. I made so many suitors for Crispin and Cortland, and for Bard. So I'm excited for the next coming episodes. But yeah, I think that's about sums it up. I'll give you a nice little overview of everything. This took ya girl a long while to not complete, because it's nowhere near being done. This is going to be a dream project of mine, but it took me a while to cut out all these guys and put them in the Google slide. But I hope you enjoyed that little recap. But if you have any questions, don't be afraid to let me know. And I hope you enjoyed. My name is Leah, aka RoseBud Simmer, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!